One signature, one risk, one nation. The day history turned in the USA, the morning of July 4th, 1776, began like many others in the small city of Philadelphia. The sun rose quietly over narrow streets. Horse carts rolled slowly across uneven stones. Shopkeepers opened their doors, unaware that this day would echo through centuries. Yet inside the Pennsylvania State House, history was about to turn. 13 colonies had lived for years under British rule. Taxes were imposed without consent. Laws were enforced from across the ocean. The voices of ordinary people were ignored. Frustration grew into anger. Anger turned into resistance. Farmers, merchants, and craftsmen whispered the same question. Why should we not govern ourselves? Inside the hall, the air was heavy with tension. Men like Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and others gathered around long wooden tables. They were not kings or generals. They were thinkers, writers, and ordinary citizens with extraordinary courage. In Jefferson's hands was a document that could change everything. It was the Declaration of Independence. As debates continued, doubts filled the room. Signing the document meant treason against the British Crown. If they failed, they would lose their land. They would lose their freedom. They could even lose their lives. Outside, British troops were strong and experienced. Inside, the colonies were divided and uncertain. Yet one truth united them. Freedom was worth the risk. When the final words were read aloud, silence followed. Then, one by one, the men stepped forward. They signed their names. With each signature, a bridge was burned behind them. There was no turning back. At that moment, America was no longer just a group of colonies. It was an idea that all people are created equal. An idea that all people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. News spread quickly. Church bells rang across Philadelphia. Crowds gathered to hear the Declaration read aloud. Some people cheered, others wept. Many felt fear. War was no longer a possibility. It was a certainty. Families would be divided. Cities would burn. Sacrifices would be demanded. But hope was born that day. It was a powerful hope. A hope that ordinary people could shape their own destiny. The road ahead was brutal. Soldiers fought barefoot in winter. Supplies were scarce. Defeat often felt near. Yet the spirit of that day carried them forward. Farmers became fighters. The weak stood against the mighty. Slowly, painfully, the idea of independence took root. Years later, when victory finally came, the world looked at America with wonder. A new nation had risen. It was not born from royal bloodlines. It was born from belief and bravery. The events of that single day reshaped the United States. They also inspired freedom movements across the globe. The day history turned in the USA was not just about a document. It was not just about a signature. It was about courage over fear. It was about unity over division. It was about the belief that the future could be written by the people themselves, and that belief still echoes today.